Hello everyone, welcome to our Microsoft 365 weekly update for the last week. It wasn't the first Tuesday, but in the end it was the first Tuesday with the updates and patches for this year. So let's start with that. Okay, so this was the first patch Tuesday of the year. In the end, 8 critical vulnerabilities, 112 newly disclosed CVEs, and total 114 patched. There was, I think, 3, but one very important, actively explode 0-day. So what it is, it allows attackers with basic user privilege to access sensitive system memory address through Windows internal communication channel. It's a big deal because attackers found and weaponized this vulnerability before the public knew about it. Let me show you where you can actually also monitor it, where you can check it on a daily basis, and we can use actually CISA website to do it. Okay, so you can always go to CISA website, cisa.gov, to vulnerability catalog and look for some new vulnerabilities. And actually there is not so many on day-to-day basis, okay? Even from the last, let's say, week or two, we have Hewlett-Packard, so maybe it doesn't concern you. There was one about the Office, but this should worry you. Microsoft Windows information, okay? And I also want to show you why it's important. So we can always click here to get more information. All right, and score is not so high, its severity is medium, but where we want to go, okay, so where we want to go is actually to references, okay? I want to point one very important thing here. So why this vulnerability is important? Because if we scroll down a little bit here, this is what we can see, and this is what I just said, that basically it was already weaponized and used by hackers, threat actors, right? Publicly disclosed, no, we didn't know about it. There were no blogs, nothing, no information. They were already using it. And it was detected through Microsoft that they basically using this vulnerability. So just patch your environment as soon as possible. Okay, let me show you my also favorite way to monitor the environment for CVEs, for vulnerabilities. And it also depends how it is set up, how your environment is set up. But if you have Microsoft Defender, okay, let's go there. So we'll go to security.microsoft.com. There is a tab, Exposure Management. This is where you can go. And I will show you also, guys, why I love it. Because we can go to Vulnerability Management, see what vulnerabilities they can find in our environment. Okay, this is pretty important. This is in our organization. Let's take a look. We can always filter. Let's use for now critical and high, just for this presentation. And what I love about it, you can always get more information, right? Understand what it is, but what Defender will show you. They will also show you the devices which are exposed and affected software. So I love this part here, and even more this one here. Okay, it's going to be easy. Basically, we need to update the browser, right? So it's going to be easy solution, but it's not always so easy. Microsoft trying to help us and tell us what to do to basically remediate the situation here. Okay, licensing and pricings, and hopefully we can talk about it the last time because everyone talks about it. I have seen multiple videos. So the new prices and new features will go into effect on July 1st, 2026. And basically you need to see 2 main slides, and later I want to show you one more thing. So basically what you see here, those are new features that will be added to the license, okay? Because they will cost more, so there is no other way. You will get those features and you will pay more for the license. There's a few things for E5. There's a lot of changes actually in E3 and E5, mainly from security point of view. So Microsoft Security Copilot, Business Premium, not so many changes. Business Basic and Business Standard, they will get those safe attachments and safe links policy. Like I mentioned before, there's a lot of changes for enterprise licenses. And usually all those features, like even Microsoft Intune Remote Help, all those features, if you want to buy them as add-on, it would cost you between $2 and $4. Okay, so let's see the prices now that as of July 1st, 2026, okay? And like I mentioned, Business Premium is not really changing. It was $22 and it will be $22, but there are some changes definitely for E3 and E5. But like I mentioned before, if you want to buy those features separately, those add-ons, you would have to pay much more. The thing is, you don't really have a choice. So you will get them and you will pay more. And yeah, it's usually like around $2-3 more, like Office E3, Office 365 E3, it's $3 more, Basic a little bit higher, and Business Standard also a little bit higher. And there is one more thing, promotion from Microsoft for Business Basic, Standard, and Premium. So for smaller organizations, actually they're trying to sell you they're trying to sell you Copilot, which actually is a good price. Okay, so they're running a promotion, and you have to buy a bundle. So let me show you exactly what it is. By the way, let's go through those prices. So we are on Microsoft 365 Business Premium, and how to get there? You get here from Marketplace. So you are in an admin center, you go to Marketplace, and you can see actually your licenses and how much you would pay for the new one. I want to show you something. So this is basically our standard price, right, for Business Premium. The same thing you can do with Business Basic or Business Standard. So this is how much we would pay. If we're paying monthly, it would be $26.40. You also may be asking why even Microsoft is trying to sell it without Teams. Then it's a little bit cheaper, a few dollars less. And it's mainly because European Union, Microsoft was required to separate those licenses, the Microsoft Teams from Microsoft 365 licensing, due to competition. Okay, so according to regulation and the European Union, it was pretty unfair for Slack or Zoom to compete with Microsoft. That's why they had to do it, and it happened, a few weeks ago. So basically now you can pay a little bit less if you're not using Teams. They had to make this separation, but this video is more about those bundles. So as you can see, there is a promotion now. You can pay 25% less. So basically you will get Business Premium, Microsoft 365 Copilot Business. Okay, this is basically the same Copilot. If you want to see it more clear, you can always go here to select a plan, and you can see it here, Business Premium and Microsoft 365 Copilot Business, 25%, and the promotion I think it ends in the end of March. Okay, so you still have a little bit more time. And let's take a look. Of course, if you pay for the whole year, it's going to be cheaper. It's going to be $32 for the whole bundle. So Business Premium plus Copilot per user per month, it's $32. If this is monthly, and you may have a little bit different prices. It depends where you're located. It's going to be $33.60, and which currency you're using. But basically, those are the prices. And hopefully this closed the topic of prices and licenses. Let's just be prepared for it. And just to close the week, some interesting news. Europe again, Italy is pushing for national level enforcement of content blocking. They're talking to Cloudflare to use DNS and content delivery network to block some website, to block some traffic. And actually Cloudflare has pushed back, asserting that forcing infrastructure providers into content blocking roles puts global internet freedom at neutrality and risk. Basically Cloudflare see it as the government trying to influence how global cloud and cybersecurity vendors operate. And I don't want to say it started in UK, now it's Italy. There is a lot to read about it if you want, but basically this is what is happening. Thank you for your time, guys. Have a great week.